Today we'll be reacting to Messi broke the record Ronaldo wanted most. Let's check this out.
Found it all himself. Lionel Messi!
Lionel Messi walked off the pitch in Los Angeles on June 22nd with 18 World Cup goals to his name, more than any player in history, men's or women's, ever. At the exact same tournament, Cristiano Ronaldo hadn't registered a single shot on target against Congo DR. Thierry Henry went on television and publicly called him out. Then a Portugal teammate said, and this is almost hard to believe, that there was no obligation to pass to him. Same week, same World Cup, same era, and the gap just became a chasm. To understand how we got here, you need to understand what was supposed to happen. The assumption heading into the 2026 World Cup was that this was their final act. Both players, both 38 years old or older, both carrying the weight of a rivalry that has defined football for almost 2 decades. The story was supposed to end without a definitive verdict, ambiguous, unresolved, left to the fans to argue about forever. That is not what happened. Messi scored his 17th World Cup goal against Austria in the group stage. That one passed Miroslav Klose, the German striker who held the men's record for 12 years with 16 goals across 4 tournaments. Then came the 18th, a penalty area finish, low and precise, the kind of goal that doesn't require
Look how beautiful that goal was, bro. We gotta go back.
a penalty area finish, low and precise, the kind of goal that doesn't require explanation. That one past Marta, the Brazilian who the women's game considers its greatest ever, whose 17 goals across 5 World Cups was the absolute record regardless of gender. 18 World Cup goals, 3 tournaments. And here's the detail that actually matters. Messi had already missed a penalty earlier in the same game before scoring that record breaker. He stepped up, missed, and then stepped up again. There's something in that. The man who supposedly couldn't do it on the biggest stage just became the biggest scorer in the history of the biggest stage. And the timing of those 2 goals matters more than people are acknowledging. Argentina's first 5 goals in this tournament were all Messi. All 5. The team didn't just benefit from him, they ran through him. Think about what that means for a 38-year-old playing at his 5th World Cup. His legs are supposed to be gone, his influence is supposed to be fading. Instead, he is personally responsible for every goal his country has scored. Not some of them, all of them. But while Messi was rewriting the history books, something very different was happening on the other side of this rivalry. Ronaldo came into this World Cup with 0 knockout stage goals in his entire career. 4 previous tournaments, countless knockout appearances. Portugal reached the quarterfinals in 2006, the semis in 2022, and across all of it, when the pressure was highest and the stakes were biggest, Ronaldo never scored. Not once. Against Congo DR in the group stage, he didn't manage a single shot on target the whole game. Thierry Henry, not a journalist, not a pundit with an agenda, but one of the greatest forwards to ever play the game, went on television and said plainly that Ronaldo was a problem for Portugal, not a solution. Then came the teammate comment. A Portugal player, speaking anonymously, told reporters there was no obligation to pass to Ronaldo. Read that back slowly.
Yo. An own teammate said this. Wow.
The player the team is built around, the player who has demanded the ball and central status throughout his entire career, his own teammates don't feel they owe him a pass. This is not a player going for a rough patch. A rough patch is a few bad games. What Henry described, what that anonymous quote confirmed, is a player who has stopped being useful to his team at a World Cup. At 41 years old, Ronaldo is no longer someone Portugal plays through, he is someone Portugal plays around. And the saddest part is that Roberto Martinez, his manager, keeps starting him anyway, which tells you less about Ronaldo's form and more about what his name still means commercially, politically, inside that squad. But on the pitch, the numbers don't lie. 0 shots on target, 0 goals, 0 threat. And when you
I think against was it Uzbekistan? I think that country, he scored 2 goals. So, I mean, but I think by now, Portugal's already been knocked out. But we'll still continue the video.
You put those two stories side by side, something becomes very difficult to argue against. The GOAT debate has survived this long because both men were never clearly declining at the same time. When Ronaldo was peaking in the Champions League with Real Madrid, Messi was winning Ballon d'Ors but falling short with Argentina at major tournaments. When Messi finally won the World Cup in 2022, Ronaldo was already fading internationally but still producing at club level. There was always an escape hatch, always a way to keep both sides of the argument alive. The 2026 World Cup has closed that hatch. Right now, at the same event, in the same week, one of them is the greatest goalscorer in World Cup history across any gender. The other is being publicly questioned by a France legend and privately ignored by his own teammates. These are not hypotheticals. These are not cherry-picked statistics from different eras. This is happening simultaneously, in real time, at the tournament that matters most. Messi also has the one thing Ronaldo has never touched, a World Cup winner's medal. The 2022 tournament in Qatar was already being called the greatest individual performance in World Cup history. Now, 3 years later...
Facts, bro. I remember it like it was yesterday. Even though it was 4 years ago, Mbappe was going crazy. Goal after goal after goal. Argentina was scared, shook. They didn't know what to do. But I mean, towards the end with the penalty, you know, Argentina clutched in, they locked in, and they were able to win the World Cup, man. But that was one crazy World Cup, bro. I wonder who's going to win this World Cup. You know who I think is going to win the World Cup? Team USA. Because we're just like that, bro. Our team has been doing pretty good this tournament, and I believe that we are going to at least win or get at least top 3.
He has added the all-time scoring record to that. The two biggest individual achievements the tournament can offer, both belong to the same man. There are people who will point to Ronaldo's 5 Champions Leagues, his league titles across England, Spain, Italy, his consistency across 3 decades at the highest level. Those things are real. That career is genuinely extraordinary. But the final chapter of this rivalry is being written at the World Cup, and it is being written by one man. One thing that risks getting buried under the stats is the actual moment before the record. Messi stepped up to take a penalty against Austria, missed it, and then had to spend the rest of that game carrying that miss. The crowd knew, the cameras stayed on him, and then, in the second half, he made the run, got into position, and put the record breaker away. That sequence is the whole story in miniature. He is not a machine. He does not absorb pressure without feeling it. He missed a penalty with the all-time record within reach, and then he scored it anyway, at 38 years old. At what will almost certainly be his final World Cup. With Klose's record, Marta's record, and the weight of a 20-year debate on his shoulders, that is the image this tournament is leaving behind. Not the debate unresolved, not both sides still arguing. Messi, record breaker. In the same week, the other half of the conversation fell apart. Messi has 18 World Cup goals. Nobody else, in any era, at any tournament, across any gender, has more. That's the record that closes the argument. Not the Ballon d'Or count, not the Champions League tally, the one that belongs solely to him at the tournament that decides it. If this video did the job, hit subscribe, because this tournament is still going, and so is Messi.
Facts. This was a good video. I really enjoyed the breakdown. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think after watching this video that Messi is the GOAT, or is Ronaldo still the GOAT? Man, for me, I'm still debating him. I'm still debating, but after this World Cup, I think I'll know who exactly is the GOAT. But until then, I'll just keep on watching. And further ado, hopefully you guys keep on watching too, and I'll see y'all in the next one.